What's up YouTube? My name is Caden and you're watching Gas at Garage. Today we are doing part 4 of the 1997 Toyota 4Runner build. In this video we're going to be finishing up and painting the front bumper that I just built on this thing. We're also going to be building some rear quarter panel guards on the back of this thing, and we're also going to be building some rock sliders. So enjoy the video. Alright guys, so in the last video of this project, we built this awesome looking front bumper on this thing and we added these lights. Everything's wired up and I just tested them last night and they worked super well. So in this video, we're going to start by actually testing out the winch on this thing because I haven't really put it to the test yet. So we're going to go hook it to a tree and see if I can try and drag this thing. And then after that, we're going to come around the back here and I'm actually going to build some quarter panel guards that are going to go right here. I'm going to weld on 2 pieces of tubing going right there with some supports in between them, and I think not only they're going to look really cool but also protect my quarter panel. And then I think I'll also probably trim off the end of that exhaust right there, because when I was stuck in a ditch one time, here's a picture of that, the tip of that exhaust was buried in the ground and preventing the exhaust from coming out. So I'm gonna trim probably 6 inches off the end of that thing. That'll prevent it from getting damaged because it does kind of stick out pretty far. And then I'm also gonna build some rock sliders on this thing to go up underneath there to protect the underside of the body from getting scraped up like it already is starting to right there. So let's go ahead and start with a winch test, and then we'll do the quarter panel guards, rock sliders, and I'm also gonna try and paint this front bumper. So let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, so I've got the 4Runner right here and I'm going to attach the winch cable to this tree and we're gonna try and pull this thing up the hill. All right, I would call that a win on the winch. This thing works very well. You could tell it was kind of struggling a little bit when I was coming over that hill right there, kind of over the mulch there because it was pretty steep, but this thing dragged it right on up. Pretty happy with it. All right, so now that we got that done, let's go ahead and start building the rear quarter panel protectors back here. right, guys, so I got one of the quarter panel guards completely built right here. It's about 95% done because I still have to put in another mount underneath here to kind of brace it up a little bit, and maybe 1 or 2 mounts in here along with a panel to go right here to cover all this up. But I'll have to do that tomorrow because it's really late and I'm exhausted. So see you in the morning. All right, guys, it's the next day, and all I have left on this thing is a couple of things. Number one, I have to make some caps to go on the end of these pieces of tubing, so water and mud and stuff doesn't get up in there and rust it out. And then up underneath here, I have to make another mount to go from here into this hole right there, just to brace it up a little bit. And then back here, I need to make another mount that goes from right there, because there is a bolt right there that I can use. I will probably pinch it in between this piece and this piece, and make a mount going from there up to this. And then I'm also gonna make a plate that's gonna go kind of like right here around all this, just for aesthetic purposes, just because this doesn't really look that great right now. And plus there's still a little bit of play in this. It's hard to see on camera, but it does move a little bit, although it still is pretty solid right now. But I just want to brace it up a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm not going to film building the other side just because it's literally the exact same thing as this right here. And I don't think you want to see the exact same thing 2 times in a row. Plus it'll make the video a little bit shorter. So I'm going to finish those things up, and then I'll build the other one off camera, and then we can probably move on to rock sliders. So I just finished getting this other side built right here, and it looks pretty much symmetrical with the one on the other side. And I also trimmed off about 6 inches off the end of this exhaust pipe, just to give a little bit more ground clearance. So now that these rear guards are done, now we can move on to building some rock sliders that are going to go underneath right there. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, guys, so I actually took this thing on some muddy trails over the weekend just to go have a little fun. I didn't really film much there, but I had a good time, as you can see by the mud on this thing. So I got this other rock slider done. I haven't painted it yet, but I'll probably do that later off camera because it's basically exactly the same as the other side. So just like I did for the rear, you don't need to see the same thing twice. So I'll just do that off camera. Now the last two things I want to do in this video are, for one, I need to, after I clean this thing off, I need to weld on some caps onto the ends of these pieces of tubing right here so I don't get all this mud and water inside of there and rust them out. And I'll do that on both sides. And then I also have some new LED turn signal lights that I'm gonna mount probably right in here somewhere, and I'll use the original wire harness that was for the original turn signals that were actually on the stock front bumper that I took off on this thing. So since I've taken that thing off, I haven't had front turn signals, so I need to add those in to actually be able to have some turn signals and be street legal. So let's go ahead and get those two things done, and I think that'll probably be it for this video. All right, looks like the blinkers work, and this thing is pretty much done in that regard. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And in the next video of this project, we're gonna be putting a 3-inch lift on this thing, which I'm super excited about, mainly because my rear suspension is kind of dead right now. It's literally riding on the bump stops, and I'll explain more about that in the next video. And then after we do that, in the next video, we're also going to be removing the front and rear bumpers on this thing and giving them a paint job, because this bare metal right here, it kind of looks cool, but it will get rusty after a while, and I want it to look a little bit more professional than just bare metal. So we're gonna give it a black paint job. And I'm gonna buy some decent paint for it so it'll look good and be durable. But for right now, thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.